wasn't sure when I would make it out into the backyard again to see everyone. It rained overnight, so I had to wipe down my chair to sit out here. Hold on a second. I've got my phone on a stick, so it's a little easier to talk to y'all. Oh, there's a cardinal. Hello. Hello, Mom. Cardinals, birds, other birds, airplanes already. I wonder if we'll see the bunnies. I left the back door open so the dogs could come back out. So I wonder if we'll see them. Trying to chase after birds and squirrels, the one dog in particular. So it's a little after 6, which is a little late for the starts of my early morning outdoor backyard chit-chats. But I really only do them whenever I get woke up by either my son or my dogs at an early hour, and that's really the only reason I have to be out here this early. Plus, I looked at the weather, and it's 68 degrees out here right now, and it's not supposed to rain again today till starting at 2, but then it's going to rain the rest of the day. Yikes. So it's very cloudy, kind of damp air today. I'm sure the bugs and the birds and all the critters just love that though. It is Tuesday, July 9th. Tuesday is usually a really, really busy day for my husband. And my son's nurse will not be in today. She has a sick child for whom she has to stay home and take care of. And our immune compromised child can't be around anybody who's sick or that's been around someone that's sick. And a mommy taking care of her sick kid, even if she is a private duty nurse for our child, is one of those people that can't come around. So today's going to be an extra busy day. But my son was waking up as I was coming outside, so I'm sure he's just going to come back downstairs with Daddy, who's going to start his work day, and Oliver is going to ask to take a nap because he really just wants to get up because everybody else is up, and will then realize within a couple minutes he's tired and he wants to lay down and take a quote-unquote nap. And I say quote-unquote because it may go on for hours since he didn't go to sleep real early last night at all. He, well, not even the normal time. He was awake for quite a while. So, oh, birdie's on the fence. Hello, birdies. Oh, hello, Cardinal. Hi, you're the mama Cardinal, aren't you? I saw the wife. Usually just see the husband Cardinal. Now I saw the wife Cardinal. I should really bring my son's anthology book outside. I don't know if I could pry it from his hands, even if he is using his laptop or his desktop or his iPad. Oh, hello, there's the father bird again. Hello, Mr. Bird. Hello, your wife went that direction already. Yes, there you go. Yeah, even though my son has got all of those and probably is using all of those at the same exact time. Yeah, he probably would not let me have that book. Well, hello, look who's coming. It's Stanley. Hi, cutie pie. Hi. Your feet are all wet. Your feet are all wet. You gonna go sniff around the backyard? Huh? You gonna go sniff around the backyard? Mommy's coffee's hot. Yeah, hello. Hello, baby. I don't know if I can see comments this way. Let's see. Oh, that's not the button. And that's not the button. So, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to see comments this orientation. I have it landscape this time because I can mount it on my tripod thing. My mini tripod. Hey, booger. Whoop, boop, 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 boop. So, y'all, it's been quite a couple of weeks since I came out here and let out a whole emotional thing. About my childhood and my family, my extended family, and so on and so forth. And it has become very evident to me over the last week or so with some of the texts I got from my one sister, and the conversations that have ensued since then, which have not been pleasant, that she actually must have watched that video. And initially I had it as private. You know, my lady friends that have come on YouTube have told me initially to make that private right in the middle, right as I was beginning that stream. And I did that, and I kept it private until I went inside and looked at it and decided that no, just even the act of sitting here and recording this and being completely vulnerable to whoever out there is listening and whoever may need to hear stuff like this. Yeah, so I flipped it private or to public, and I imagine that's how she saw it. So, and the conversations that have ensued have been a lot of disagreements about how things happened when we were younger, and why, and who did what and who did not, and how things and the other people in my family did that I described as running wild at the age of 12 or 13 and whatnot. I was told that they were not wild. I was told that that's exactly what every kid that age did. I've even gotten memes that I was told to read the comments where, you know, ooh, here comes helicopter again. Oh, let's not look, because last time it was like you met. Yeah. Oh, no, I think it's just an news chopper, probably for the traffic reports. Yeah, I was told that what she had done as a teenager was just typical normal teenager behavior, and that I have to stop judging, and not just stop judging her, but judging our mother. I don't know if I would say it was judging. And I don't agree that it was just, everybody that age did it, because that's not how I was. And that's not how anybody I knew was. Definitely not at the age of 12 or 13. And probably a little before that even. And on afterwards. Oh, look. The guilty party who woke up the whole house is out. Hello, Hank. How are you? Are you wide awake, Hank? Are you wide awake? Yeah, now he's just gonna go trotting around the yard, having a grand old time. The grass is really wet though, so I don't know if they'll really stay out here. Especially my floofy, hairy dog, because he probably doesn't want all of his paws all wet like that. So I made a craft video yesterday, live craft video, and that was fun. I have some other crafty things to finish up doing today before I start something else. Although that's not a criteria, with us crafters, you don't have to finish one thing in order to start another. Most of us don't. Some things we never finish. Oh, the birdies are loud. Sounds of nature. Even if you don't live out in the middle of nowhere, there are sounds of nature, especially in the early hours of the morning, and right after the sun goes down, when they're getting ready to go to sleep. All the birdies getting into their nests, checking on their babies. Those baby bunny rabbits are getting big. I don't know if they can fit through the little hole that they got under one corner of our fence into the neighbor's yard again, back and forth. Because they definitely live in his one big shrub over there. Because he said they get into his garden. And he put a little bit of wire fencing up, but it only stopped the little bunnies. And the mama bunny could still jump over. Well, now I wonder if the baby bunnies can jump over. They grow real fast. So, oh goodness. Yeah. So it hasn't been the greatest couple of weeks. When someone, even if it's a sibling, tries to tell you what your memories are and what your reality was, and says that you don't want to believe any opinions or anyone other than what you already think yourself, but you're supposed to believe what they say. What they say is the truth, and they know exactly what happened, and especially when we didn't live together. Our family split up, and I chose to live with my dad, and they chose to live with my other two sisters and my half-brother were with my mother, and they weren't even in the same state. So it's not like we visited very often. There was one visit. It was supposed to be every summer that we would trade off. I would go there for a month. They would come here for 2 months. And then the next summer, it would be me there for 2 months and them here for a month. Well, we managed to do it one summer. And in fact, said sister, who has I've been having a difficult time with since that video, when she came out here with my younger sister for their 2-month visit that first year, after I had already been out in up to their house, about 1,200 miles away. My older sister got sent back for some verbal and behavioral things. Now, granted, my stepmonster might have very well overreacted about the sending her back part. But again, I'm sure it's something, what she did and what she said, I'm sure is just that, she thought that that's what everybody her age said and did. And that is not how my stepmom or my dad, nor I, actually, saw it. And I still don't think it. In fact, I would never have let my kids do that at that age. And when I asked my sister, what did my mom do to try and stop you from doing what you were doing, since she knew most of it, some of it, or at least the consequences of some of it when everything fell apart to a certain extent. She's like, well, what was she supposed to do? Throw me in a closet or tie me to a chair? Oh. Granted, in the early 80s, we had a lot more freedom. It was safer to be out and about by ourselves or in groups of teenagers, young teenagers or young kids even. In fact, I remember being, I don't even know how old, 6, 7, 8, and being able to just go up and down the block. We couldn't go around the block. That was part of the rules. But we could go up and down the block. And we had a few friends on the street. So, but nowadays you can't do those kinds of things. But even back in the early 80s, the kind of stuff I'm talking about is, stuff with some lifelong consequences. Some stuff with, there just isn't your mainstream, every teenager did it stuff. So if anyone is commenting, I don't know. I see that we have one person here, but I can't tell if you're commenting. I don't know where to tell. This landscape view doesn't really give me... doesn't really give me a place to see where the comments would be. I touched all the little spots that on my screen that I could. So I guess when I go, when I get it uploaded, I'll have to read through the live chat and see what there is and decide whether to get rid of it or not. Because that is one thing that I do make sure of. I don't keep any of the live chats on my videos, no matter what kind of video it is, and especially these ones that I'm just winging it in outside and talking about whatever, because I also get some interesting people in chat that say interesting things. Yeah, not everybody needs to read that stuff. Actually, no one really needs to read that stuff. Some people definitely shouldn't read that stuff. So I don't know what time it is where all of you are. I was wondering where Samar and Gia are at. If they are awake on the other side of the world and what they're up to. It should probably be about their dinner time, I would think. So, but I guess if I see somebody pop up and say anything on there, then I will know. Oh, I have a like already. Thank you for that like, whoever you are. Yeah. And so part of that family drama over this last couple of weeks has extended to said sister texting our father. About the things that I have said out here in my video, and the things that she and I have had discussions about. And gotten upset with each other over. So yeah, I mean, why not be really dysfunctional and just start dragging other family members into it? Because, you know, if I needed my dad's ear, so to speak, or, you know, his opinion or his advice or whatever, his clarification about things that went on in our childhood, I would have asked him myself. I'm not saying that I have never asked him. I have asked him certain questions, just, you know, different things. But I'm not currently at the point where there's anything I want to ask him about. I feel like I need to ask him about. So I imagine he was surprised to get those texts. Yeah. I know it wasn't done to try and turn my father against me, but I can't say that it was totally done out of concern for me. Because plenty of the things that were text were their own opinions, not anything I had ever said, and not opinions that I actually hold. Yeah. So, family drama, it's always good, right? On the interwebs, on the YouTubes. But you know, I can keep this as a diary of such. That way I don't have to go inside and write and waste paper and ink and write until my hand hurts, and to then decide to rip it out and throw it away, burn it, paint over it. You know, the kind of shit maybe you don't want your kids to have to read when they're looking through all your stuff after you're dead and gone. So it isn't going to get very warm today because of the rain. I think it's not even supposed to reach 80. But we definitely could use the rain. I know my little plants can. Little flowers up on my deck too. I feel bad for the people affected by, what is the hurricane? Beryl? When it decimated basically Jamaica or whatever, I think it was Jamaica in the Caribbean. And then just kept coming our way and hit the far east corner of Texas. I think some of the southern part of Louisiana. I don't remember that it was going to be that bad of a hurricane per se, like maybe level 1, but the problem would be also the ensuing tornadoes. And I think that at least one I saw yesterday, they were talking about yesterday afternoon, in a tornado spun off in Texas from Beryl. What a name. What a name. And they go back and they make a list. I guess it's the national organization, I don't know what it is, some meteorological something. Or atmospheric something, and they make a list every year of female names and male names, and they rotate back and forth as the hurricanes start. And this is supposed to be from the female list, Beryl, Berryl, which is a very, very, very old-fashioned name that is hardly ever heard. And if you guys are commenting, I cannot see where the comments are. Let me see here. Let me see if I can do this. What does this do? Okay. I pushed live chat, but I don't know. It's still not showing me anybody talking. I don't know. Maybe I should hold this the other direction. But then I'd have to flip this around. Oh. And that's going to be a lot of undoing and a bunch of you guys getting dizzy and whatever from me turning it. Oh, garbage can. It's garbage morning. Garbage and recycling trucks going to be coming along. They're pretty loud. But yeah, we've had a lot of hurricanes already early on this season. A lot of tornadoes in the Eastern Plains area. And down into Texas. We haven't had any issues up here by us, other than some rain. I know some of my crafty buddies online had some rain and hail from Beryl, but that was all. Yeah, I'm coming out here today with it being so cloudy and misty. I was worried about my camera being not so great. Maybe the screen getting misty or anything. Let's see. I don't know. Nope. I guess it's fine. Yeah. So, I wonder, I haven't heard anything from my younger sister about the drama with my older sister and I, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't know or hasn't watched the video herself too. She might be staying out of it. She might just be sitting back and letting it all happen and figuring it doesn't involve her, which is probably a good position to take. Hello, squirrel. Squirrel on the wires. It's okay. Hank went inside, buddy. Hank already went inside. He's not going to chase you. Yeah, you're safe up there anyway. Whoa, you almost fell off. These squirrels should have these wires down pat by now, running across these wires. But he almost fell off. He's going pretty far. I don't know how far he came from, but he's going pretty far. Oh, Mr. Cardinal, sitting over there talking to all the little baby sparrow birds. What's going on? I'd like to explore that area. There's like a area with a bunch of trees in between what was a couple of empty lots and the backyards of the people behind all of us. There was like a tree area, and the lines run through there too, and it was open to a certain extent because of, to make it as accessible as possible for the tree lines. But I'm curious, like, why are all the animals over there? Where are all what kind of trees are over there? How do you get over there now that it's not a empty lot anymore? They built 2 houses over there, so technically part of that is their backyard, but there's still the big open area where there's trees on either side from each person's backyard. And I just see a lot of the birds swooping in and out of there. That's one thing I didn't have growing up as a as a young kid. Tons of old trees. Where we lived was already a very well-established neighborhood, and then from like 8th grade on, no trees. Nobody really had trees. Now that whole area has been incorporated into the city, and they have built a whole subdivision around it. It is no longer a dead-end street. And no longer are there cornfields behind everybody's backyards. Oh, hello, Cardinal. Who are you talking to, huh? He's calling for somebody. So yeah, the drama continued. My sister texted my dad, like I said, and my dad and I had a conversation yesterday having absolutely nothing to do with anything about the text from my sister. In fact, he didn't even mention it at all. It wasn't like he was going to tattletale. He didn't call me up to tattletale. There were other financial things he wanted to talk about. And he kind of waited, I think, to see if I was going to say anything. And I don't really remember how the conversation started. But he was concerned because, for him, it's getting texts out of the blue like that. No clue that two of his daughters are, rehashing childhood trauma, even though my sister thinks childhood trauma or trauma in general is only you know, if one is assaulted in a certain way, or physically attacked. Um, she doesn't quite get the whole idea of trauma and childhood trauma or emotional trauma. But she claims she's dealt with all of hers, and so is my younger sister, as far as she can tell. It's just me. It's just Renee who is struggling. Yeah. Telling my dad how I've been struggling for the last several years. Duh. It's not like I haven't had a close enough relationship with my dad that he doesn't know that I've been struggling with with all kinds of other mental health related anxiety and depression, struggling with other things having to do with my childhood that have nothing to do with my siblings or my parents. Um, and, you know, the stress of a extremely, I don't want to say special needs, because, you know, that's just a real broad, overly used term, to the point now where when you say special needs, it could really mean anything. And so some people really downplay that, then don't understand the severity of what that can mean. And so I don't really call or refer to my child, as my grown child, as a special needs child. And I stopped doing that quite earlier on in his life, because he's medically fragile and very medically complex. He can walk. He's not in a wheelchair, and he's got immune system problems. So basically, you know, he's at home a lot, most of the time, except for going out in the bike trailer with Daddy pulling him on the bicycle. And yeah, I'm sure he has medical PTSD. I know I have medical PTSD relating to a lot of his stuff. Which is something that, you know, neither one of my siblings has in their life. They do have their own other issues. You know, their children have grown up and had some issues over time. And some have not. And I'm not saying my kids were perfect, but that's absolutely not what I'm saying at all either. I wasn't perfect. I'm not perfect. No one is perfect. But I think being an actively involved parent and knowing what your kids are doing, and sometimes having to put forth a lot of effort in knowing and being involved in what your kids are doing, or making sure they're not doing certain things, is part of the job. And some kids test you. Some kids push your buttons and push the boundaries. And when they do, you can't just roll over and act like it's not happening, look the other direction, or act like, oh, it's better that they're doing it in front of my face than behind my back. Well, they were already doing it behind your back. You just happened to find out somehow. And now you just are going to allow it. And I think that's one of the sticking points, definitely, for my older sister and I. You know, because I don't feel like that was I don't feel like that was taking a whole lot of parental responsibility on the part of my mom when my older sister, as I said, ran wild. And that's what I said in my video, and she got very upset at me. I think she said that to me, and she said something else, which is like, okay, you aren't gonna just come straight out and say you watched the video and here's the issues I have with what you said. She just started texting me about what she didn't agree with. And boy, if I mentioned anything about seeing anything any differently than she did or does about our mom, whew, that makes her the most angry. And I can't get her to understand that when I didn't live with my mom anymore, and she and my sister did, we had very different experiences in life from that point on. And we still do. Technically, we all live in 3 different states. We've got different family situations. Um, different marital histories. One has never been divorced. I've only been divorced and then remarried. And another sister who has had more difficulties with the men in her life. And I couldn't imagine going through some of those things that she went through that were absolutely nothing to do on her part as far as guilt or anything. It was very much something the other party chose to do. Ooh, now I'm getting swarmed by bees. No, see, there's where you belong, over there in the neighbor's yard where all the flowers are. I am not a flower or a tree. Oh, and thank goodness those cicadas are gone. I read somewhere, like, why do cicadas land on people? And they're like, well, it's just as simple as you're vertical and they think you might be a tree. Okay, well, I guess, bug brains aren't, the most complex. I mean, they do amazing things, these cicadas, with, coming in and out of the ground only every 7 years or every 17 years, the different kinds of them. But, yeah, they don't know the difference between a human and a tree just because both are vertical. But I am glad they're gone for their sound, for them being all over my lilac tree where I couldn't even hardly go out on my deck even to let the dogs out, and finding all the carcasses of the shells that they break out of to begin with, everywhere. I swept the deck a little bit yesterday and found several more dead cicadas that were still amongst the boards of the deck. But so they haven't even been completely washed away yet. And I see there's a bunch of white stuff over on my tree stump that's in the backyard. And there is no way that many birds, or animals for that matter, because it looks like white poop, like bird poop, but I don't think it can be. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on over there. Gonna have to ask my husband. Oh, shh. a little chipmunk that got through there. Maybe if I'm quiet. Nope, it's a baby bunny. Here, let me turn the camera around and you can see the baby bunny. Oops, sorry for the view. I guess you really can't. There it is, right there. Right by the pink. Let's see, where's the camera? Right there by the pink wind thing. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. You are still small. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, little guy. Good thing I don't plant anything back out here. Ooh, yep. You're going to eat. Wash your fingers. Wash your hands. These flowers are fake, because otherwise they would never stay. They would never be growing back here. And they wouldn't survive these little guys. You're still pretty little. Yeah, you are. Good thing my doggies aren't out here now. Yeah, they'd be chasing you off. Ooh, I see your nose going. And I see your ears listening. Are you going to go try to get in the garden and get a carrot? Or are you just going to eat some grass? You're a cutie. Mama kicking you guys out of the nest already, telling you to fend for yourselves? You are adorable. I never really could understand the benefit of having or why people had bunnies as pets. Do they act like cats if they're domesticated pets? I don't know. Oop, oop, oop. Where are you going, buddy? Now you're like right here next to me. Hi. See, yep, you're going to try to go through the fence, aren't you? Yep, there you go. You're going to try to go through that fence. There you went. He hopped right through, you guys. Right into the carrots. Oop, now he's hopping through the garden. Oh, there he goes. Wonder what he's going to look for. Oh, no. Is he coming back around? He hopped back out the other side. That was interesting. That was the most nature I think we've had out here, y'all. Ever since I did these. I've seen the bunny hop through, but it was always because the dogs are chasing him back through the fence in the backyard. And I've seen them come across the neighbor's part of his backyard into his garden. But this little guy came over and had a little grass for breakfast. Hopped through the fence and is going to find what he wants from the garden. I think he's over there messing with whatever these light purple flowers are, because I can see them shaking on the outside edge. Oh, and did you see that there's all the big sunflowers growing? All of the neighbors' sunflowers. Oh, wait a second, it's a little too. Let's see. There's their sunflowers. Their sunflowers are starting to grow tall, tall, tall. And they've got their faces turned east for the sun when it comes up in the morning. Yep. You don't need to see that close of me. And I keep saying, welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by the community. Just because I'm zooming in or zooming out. And if there is a chat, I can't see it anyway. One of the hazards and downsides of doing an actual horizontal live stream right now. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how to see y'all. Say good morning to everyone, or good evening if you're over in India or in Malaysia or Pakistan, and all those East Coasters or West Coasters that are awake already. Because let's see, what time is it? This watch that my husband says is working fine. It's got the right date, but definitely does not have the right time. I'm wearing one watch on either side. It is 7 o'clock a.m., but I'm wearing one on each side because the one you put a battery in, and the other one is supposed to work as automatic. So that's supposed to be the kind that you don't have to put a battery in. Let me see here. I can... No, I can't. Because it says it is still currently 3:30. So I think it fell behind 4.5 hours somehow. It's because one of them I have works on light. The other one I have works on motion. And the other one is battery operated. Actually, 2 other ones I have are battery operated. And I am old-fashioned. I don't like to have to look at my phone wherever it might be, because it is not constantly in my hand or within 2 feet of me or a foot of me at all times. I'm used to looking, on the inside of my wrist with my right hand for where my watch is and what time it is. Every time my dad sees me, though, with a watch on, he's like, why do you wear a watch on your right hand like that? You're not left-handed. And I have to tell him all the time, Dad, I don't know, this is just where I started wearing it, and this is where it's always been. The only other person that I knew that ever wore their watch like that was my grandpa, which was my great-grandpa. Gosh, I am zoomed in way more now. Right there. Which is my great-grandpa. And I only knew him until I was 5. So I don't recall which arm that man wore his watch on. But he did give me my nickname that everyone in my family used the whole time I was young. And my nieces and nephews, mostly my one nephew. The other 2 I don't really know very well, so they've never really called me by my name or anything. So, but the female, my nieces and one nephew, my other nieces and one nephew, they all call me Auntie Nene. So I was Nene forever. Oh, you sit your butt down in the wet grass? Is it dried enough for you, huh, little puppy? You missed the baby bunny, honey. You missed it. Yeah, you missed it. What to do? I think he came out here for my coffee. Is that what you did? You came out here for my coffee? Knowing him. So, my ex-husband is doing something quite wonderful, and very kind. Not only for him, I mean, good, it's good for him too, obviously, but it's very kind to do for me. He has all these old uh, digital video camera tapes from when our older kids were young. And a lot of them involve family members of mine when they came to visit. And as the kids grew up, and you can hear them talking, and yeah, he did a lot of videoing them when they were little. And said I think yesterday, he was supposed to have gotten his converter so he could change them over from, not digital, to change them to digital, from VHS or 8 millimeter cassettes, over to digital format. And initially he said he was going to send them on a USB drive, but I think he has found maybe that there's, oh, here comes another baby bunny. This one's a lot smaller. But I think my ex-husband has found that there are too many. Let's see if we can see that bunny. Oh, no. Gone already by the time I turned it around. So I think he's come to realize maybe there's just too much video footage, too many photos. He was going to take some still frames out of some of them too. He was taking pictures from his with his cell phone of when he had the video paused on his TV, showing me some of them. So yeah, I'm excited, and I think that's very kind of him. So now, since he thinks maybe that's too much for a USB drive, I think he said he was going to upload it. I don't remember where, if he's going to if he uses Google for storage space or what he uses, and then just give me access to it as well. And then that way, if there's things I want to download, I can, and I find that a very kind gesture. Very kind. It's sad to me that he's the one who has all of that and has had all of that video all these years. And I haven't seen it until now. I don't know if he's bothered to maybe even pull it out, really. Once you start having grandkids, you look back at your kids too when they were young. So now with 2 grandkids, maybe he's feeling more nostalgic about his own kids. He has some step grandchildren too. So our 2 grandkids are not technically his first grandkids. It's his stepwife, or my kid's stepmother, his second wife. Her children, she had older children, 2 older than my boys, and then 2 other boys that were right around in between a couple of my kids' age. And so I think there's at least 1, if not 2, grandkids on that side for him. And they live out in the same state, so they see each other. I think 1 even lives with them at their house with the son. So, oof, I can feel the mistiness kind of lifting, which is good, but I can feel the temperature going up as well. Stanley, do you hear that? Do you feel that? Huh? It's brightening up a little bit, but it sure as heck is not going to get sunny today. Like I said, at 2 o'clock it's supposed to downpour and just keep on raining. So you're going to have to get outside as much as you can before 2 o'clock, Stanley, because I know y'all hate going outside in the rain. So let's see, back to the family drama. Yeah, you know what? This is my journey to be on. You know, let me like deal with my past and my memories and, you know, what I consider to be quote unquote traumatic in whatever way, mentally, physically, emotionally, or whatever. And I don't need to be told by anybody, even other family members, what did or didn't happen, or that my memories aren't valid, and the feelings I have about how our family started being absolutely crazy, and having a stepmom that was rather abusive, very much verbally abusive, and at times physically abusive in the name of quote unquote discipline. So I don't need to be told how to interpret any of that by other family members. They can figure out their shit and let me figure out mine. We don't have to agree. We're different people. Like I said, we didn't even live together after a certain age, which was rather young age. And almost never visited each other. Almost never even heard from each other. No letters, no phone calls, no nothing. And I was treated like the black sheep of the family. So, but I think after I stopped being so religious and right around that time getting divorced, or leaving my husband to get divorced, a little of that changed, but still they seem to have had preconceived ideas about me, and how I was as a person, when they really didn't know me at all. And I find that very sad, because like I said, we never really conversed, never really saw each other hardly, and never even saw my mom, except for that one summer right after they got divorced. So yeah, I just find it ironic that, you know, one of my sisters does not want to be you know, very broadly, just generally named, you know, called, you know, wild as a teen, you know, when she was a teenager, which was just really my term for not telling you all the shit she was doing. But yet, somehow I was ostracized and spoke about in a very poor light, and that transferred on to what my sisters thought about me, and then to what their children thought about me, before they ever even knew me. And now I've spent more time with my younger sister's children than I ever did with my older sister's children. But they are all grown up now and adults, and my sister has grandchildren much older than mine. My younger sister does not have grandchildren. So both of them were mothers young. And I guess I was technically young too, but I was in my 20s, my early 20s. Hey, little guy, you're missing all the birds and all the bunnies. Huh, puppy? You missed it. Yeah. So I had to put a little quilt down Even after wiping down this chair, it was still, I couldn't get it to dry off, so I had to lay a quilt on there to sit there. So you're probably wanting to get up here with Mommy, aren't you? You want to get up here and sit next to Mommy? Hmm? Do you want to get up here and sit next to Mommy? Come on. Come over here. Woo! Come here, buddy. Come here. You come sit by Mama? Come on. You could come up out of the grass and come sit by Mama. And if you don't want your wet feet. Come on. Come sit by Mama. You want to come sit by Mama? Oh, there's a squirrel. See him? Ooh, now you gonna chase him? Ooh, Stanley is fast too. I didn't realize how fast. So it isn't just Hank that goes after the squirrels. It's you too. You think you're gonna catch a squirrel? Oh, do you smell that Mommy's got a treat in her pocket? Does Mommy have a treat in her pocket? Yes. Oh, you don't want it? You don't want it? I'll leave it right there. Yeah, I see you. You gonna want that? Hmm? Are you gonna want that treat? Do you want that treat? Okay. I can't even tell if I'm being able to use 5G out here, or if I'm not even being, it would be worse if it was 5G, but if I'm able to be doing attached to our Wi-Fi, which I think is probably what's happening, because I'm not having breaks being cut off on the signal, and having the white circle of wait, we're not sure if you're going to reconnect, hold on, errors, and then boom, you're either back or you're bumped off. Not to be confused with the blue screen of death, where everyone's concerned that they're oh, hello, pigeon. Hello, pigeon. Now you might have made that mess on my tree stump over there, but that would have to have been very good aim from you, because that tree stump is not underneath that wire where you're sitting. Sorry, distracted by birds. So yeah, I must be on the Wi-Fi because it hasn't been interrupted. And that blue screen of death that everyone initially, way back when, meant, your computer went belly up and you were in big trouble. But now, blue screen of death is, oh, you shut down your Windows was shut down improperly, or you shut your computer off improperly and you have to restart, let it sort itself out, or it's going to insist that you do the updates that you have ignored for however long and kept putting off. Huh, Stanley, you know all about this computer stuff, don't you? Yeah, you sit by Mommy and watch what she does on the computer? No, I'm definitely not the techie guy. That's my husband. He's my tech man. Told me yesterday he's going to have to start charging me. And I said, well, if things would just work like they're supposed to work, I wouldn't need a tech guy. Unless for when I upgrade to things, and then if I don't quite understand how to set it up or figure it out, then I ask for help. Oh goodness, we are just having bird fest back here. All the birdies are waking up, Stanley. Everybody's waking up. You're going to need a nap today. Quite a few naps, probably. More than usual. I mean, you are 9, and you were up at 5:40 or whatever it was. 5:30. Mommy made coffee and came outside. You didn't even realize it at first. You left me out here all by myself. Yeah, so after hearing that, that there was text messages to my dad out of what was written as if it was concern for me, which I don't think is necessarily the case, based on what was written and how. Oh, there's a little yellow bird, yellow and black, teeny tiny one. Hope the crows don't get you, dude. You're really small. Yeah, after finding that out, then the other day, I made a phone call to my said sister, and she does work full-time, so I was surprised that she answered. But I just wanted to briefly let her know that I did become aware that she texted our father about the differences we are having and the things that she had said, and tried to express again, as I did in the past, sorry, mosquito, that, you know, we don't have to see things the same way. We are separate people, even though we are sisters, and we lived completely separate lives after a certain point, and even though we are sisters. And she was, you know, she and my other sister were basically 100%, you know, after the age 10 or 8, raised by 100% by my mom, and that was not the case for me. And even they probably don't see things exactly the same, because not every kid in a family grows up and has the same experiences, or even realizes things at the time the same way. I know all 3 of my children don't necessarily see it exactly the same, even though they lived together their whole lives until they were in their early 20s. So, and it's like, you know, it's not like I haven't heard from some of my kids. One of them, you know, how he feels like he was affected by my divorcing his father. And then some of that anger, the way that came out angry, I've since learned also from my son, has to do with things that his father told him that I supposedly did. Which is not the way things happened. So, you know, that's the way things get stirred up. And family drama starts. Don't you just love family drama? And the thing is, you know, it's not like my sisters and I, even as adults, got along all that great. For quite a few years, there were issues to the point where there had been separate times that some of us weren't speaking to each other or being around one another, even if we were in the same state. And just when I thought, oh, wow, this is really good, you know, we're actually finally all much more mature, relaxed, our kids are grown, even though we got some, 2 of us still have some things going on in our lives that are difficult. We were all speaking to each other and all on good terms, and phone calls and texts and podcasts and other live streams together. And yeah, and that all came to a crashing halt the other day, because I most definitely was not going to continue on. It's got to be another quote-unquote break, as if we were dating. trust was lost, and there are issues that we are at an impasse at right now, and until all that is sorted out, and if and when that is sorted out, ever, yeah, I don't know, guys. All I can say is, outside of childhood stuff, when you're a parent with a child that has any kind of quote unquote special needs, the more complicated your child is, specifically more medically involved or more behaviorally involved, or if there's like something like being blind or deaf, which people find it very difficult to deal with, and even grandparents, which shocks me. Not all grandparents, but generally speaking, the more involved your child is, the less likely it is that you are actually getting any help from um, extended family members. And everyone assumes, oh, well, you have family nearby, right? So, they must be such a great help. And you just bite your tongue and purse your lips because it's a whole big ordeal to talk about. Now, I'm not talking about my side of the family. But yeah. And I know several other families that have had their own situations. The more involved their child was, the less involved the grandparents were. And in some cases, cousins or aunts or uncles, great grandparents, you name it. Some, which is a shame, because the more families that have kids with issues of any kind, they're the ones who actually need more support. Somebody to talk to, somebody to just come over and sit with them and help take a little bit of the stress off. I'm not saying they could, quote, necessarily babysit in every instance, but some cases that can very well be true. It is not in our situation. Oliver has to be with either a trained caregiver, meaning his father and I, or a skilled nurse, meaning a registered nurse or a licensed practitioner nurse, so RN or LPN. Oh, airplane going into the airport. And yeah, so it's not like he doesn't have babysitters. Never has had a babysitter. Not a sibling who sat and watched him while we went and did something. The only time we've ever been able to go out together as husband and wife to go do something is either when we would take him with in the car, and then one person would get out at a time to do something, or shopping errands or whatever, which we really didn't do very often, and that was more of a weekend thing, because before the illness that descended on the world and people got told to stay home, and yeah, then he has most definitely not. Uh-oh, doggies. I don't know if are they fighting, or are they attacking a bird or a squirrel? Oh, goodness. It didn't sound good, guys. Yeah, but I know I could have used somebody, you know, when I was in the throes of a very, very sick baby. My fourth child, who's now 20 and can't have a babysitter, needs a nurse or a parent that knows how to take care of all of his needs. I could have used somebody to come over and just even, you know, hey, bring a meal, come over, help do a load of laundry, come over and do the dishes, load the dishwasher, unload the dishwasher, any of those things. But any friends that you have tend to fall away when you have a child like Oliver, or a child with autism in general, without even the medical additional things he has. And that most definitely happened to me. And I know some of them have claimed that, you know, I just wasn't around anymore. So they just, you know, that's why I never saw them. But, I mean, didn't they wonder why I wasn't around anymore? They all knew I was pregnant and put on bed rest. And family members, quite frankly, just don't have any excuse. None. And if we became difficult after Oliver was born, that's because life for us was difficult. Very, very stressful. Not sure at times if our child was going to live or die. Many times. Yeah. Ooh, a bunny went in and went back out again. I guess he realized Stanley was out here, huh? Are you out here and they don't want to come out here because of you? Those little bunnies? What? What? What'd I say? With your little wet paw self. Oh, can you tell Mommy still has more treats inside her pocket? Does Mommy have more treats in her pocket for you? I think I do. Here. I figured I'd put treats in my pocket to keep him happy out here. Let's see. Let's look at that watch that is actually on time. It's 7:30. Because I came outside without even taking my medicine. I just grabbed my cup of coffee. Oops, did you miss it? Here you go. Here you go. Here's your treat. Good job, buddy. He likes them because they're chewy. And he is 9, so his chewing, he likes his food soft, his treats chewy. Not a puppy anymore. Hello from inside the house. Somebody is actually chatting and I can see it, but it disappears really fast. That was my husband. Hello from inside the house. What's going on inside the house? Did the little man lay back down? Decide he got up too early too? It wasn't him that woke us up. It was Hank, wasn't it? Stanley. Woke up everybody. Doesn't even feel guilty about it. He's probably in the house taking a snooze now already. Yeah. So when I go inside later, oh, so audiology. Neb's breakfast audiology. Audiology? Oh, does he have, he doesn't have an audiology appointment. Are you talking about yourself? Oh, but that phone call you have to make. Don't forget about that. I emailed you that. So he's getting his breakfast. He has a G-tubes, if I haven't told you. He has never, in 20 years, eaten sufficiently by mouth. Okay. And There was a time that he ate a little bit of pureed food by mouth, but he was probably really only doing it to behaviorally, because that's what we offered to him, spoon feeding him as a younger child, younger baby, older baby, really. But it was never enough. Thank you, honey. It was never enough to help him grow. So in the NICU, before he had ever came home, he had a G-tube put in. So all of his medicine, which there's a lot of, goes in through his G-tube. So does his food, most of which my husband either makes or we buy specific as real food made pouches of food specifically for a G-tube. We do not use any kind of how do you call it, commercially available or the usual G-tube diet type stuff. Hi, buddy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at you. You're just gonna make yourself comfortable, aren't you? Look what you're doing, though. You're pulling down Mommy's quilt. There we go. There you go. You're standing on me. You know that, don't you? It's just a bug, and if you go jumping off me because of a bug, we're going to have to, talk. Let's see. Oh, so I guess if I scroll up, I can see the chat. Maybe I'll have to scroll down to see. I don't know. I guess I can't scroll back. Oh, goodness, you're turning around. Look at this dog. He's... Okay. All right. Yeah, you just sit there then. And you watch the backyard. You watch back that way, and I'll watch this way. So... Boop, 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 boop. It's hard talking about anything that happens in your life when it involves another person, especially if you put it out publicly or you write a book or you just tell other people about it. Because even though it's like your life story to tell too, because it happened to you and involved them, a lot of other people, those other thems, get very upset that you are saying anything or even acknowledging it or acting like there was ever even a problem. But that's not how I see it. I mean, I'm not a sweep it under the rug person, and I'm a talk this shit out and deal with it and get on with it. I'm not afraid of having boundaries and confrontation, and things don't have to be confrontational necessarily if people can keep control of their emotions. Now, I have not always been the best at that personally, even myself, but as I've gotten older, I am much better at it. But I have to say, that even when I have been in the past and currently, in control of my emotions and discussing things with family members, they're the ones who aren't always in control of their emotions. And yeah, so I guess I've been the black sheep, quote unquote, on both sides of the family. But I prefer to think of myself as the rainbow sheep or the unicorn sheep, the sparkly sheep. Because black sheep makes it sound like, not that you were just the different from everyone else, that somehow you were the bad one. There was something that you do or did or whatever, that is not only different but quote unquote bad, whatever bad is. But that was not the case. We're just different, and the difference is not a bad difference. It might be difficult, but there's things that just make us unique. So that's why I say rainbow or sparkly or unicorn. I just think that our differences should be and should have been all these years embraced, and there's no way to figure out how to be around a family like ours if you don't even try. You don't get comfortable with a child like ours unless you try to get comfortable with a child like ours. Of course, there's many times that people were not allowed to come over for his health and safety, but there were plenty of times that could have been attempted that weren't, or were attempted and went bad. What are you gonna say? My siblings and nieces and nephews, except for one nephew, really don't know Oliver at all. No matter what I've said, they've either forgotten or don't understand about him. So, and since my husband mentioned it on here, and anybody who saw it and will see it, he is having audiology issues, hearing issues himself. Went to the doctor recently, and he was talking about making his appointment for, and now the dog's the next door over from them. What is it, just time for all the dogs to go wild? I hope you don't go wild, arguing and fighting and screaming and barking right now. There's no reason for that. But yeah, he's probably going to have specialized hearing aids that don't go in his ear, the kind that attach back here, but not a cochlear implant, but the kind that attach to the bone back here, and use this mastoid bone that will help vibrate that bone and helps you hear better, because he has been rapidly over the last couple of years losing his hearing, where before it was slower and slower before. And now ever since I've known him, he's had some hearing loss, but it's become significantly worse. And, yep. So that means I will have very much a deaf son and very much a deaf husband. But at least my husband will be able to wear hearing aids, which I'm sure he's happy about. And I don't know about happy, but happy in the sense that hearing aids will be able to help him, because for Oliver, hearing aids do not help him. They actually cause more trouble. Yeah, cause more ear infections and whatnot when his ears have traditional ear molds put in them with the hearing aid over the ear. Yeah. So, yeah, he's had way too many ear infections. And really, really bad ones. Kind where, the only medicine you can give someone to get rid of it is to put an IV that goes in arm, usually your upper arm, somewhere from your inside of your elbow upward, with a line that goes as close to into, to by your heart as possible, so that they can deliver antibiotics that way, because they cannot be just put in any old vein, and they are not an antibiotic you could take as a pill or a liquid and take it orally. So he's had his fair share. Lots of surgeries that required obviously IVs and stuff too. A couple heart surgeries. I think I told you guys there was quite a long period of time that I counted 27 different subspecialists that he had. And I say subspecialists because they aren't just specialists. They're pediatric cardiologists, pediatric gastroenterologists, pediatric pulmonologists, which makes them subspecialties. They not only specialized in being a cardiologist and whatnot, but they only dealt with children. And that is a whole different level of things. That's, a little more school. And children do not behave the same. Children's bodies do not behave the same as adult bodies, especially when they're babies. What is it you're trying to get under? You can't get under my dress. This is not a blanket. This is Mommy's dress. You can sit down. Yeah, you can sit down. Say hi to the people. Hi, people. See, you're just what are you trying to do? Scratch on me to get underneath there? You can't do that. That's not how it is. That's just not how it is. I know you like all the little blankets on the couch, don't you? You gonna get down? You gonna get down? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna stand there and look at me? You're just gonna stand there and look at me like that? There you go. You looking for more of my coffee, or did you drink it all? You almost did. You almost did. It's okay, guys. Don't worry about me and giving my dog caffeine, okay? I'm trying to fix this blanket. Not the easiest thing here. Okay. Since Stanley messed it up. Ooh, sunshine. Sunshine coming from the east. Yeah. I only give him a little bit after my coffee gets cold. And like I said, he's a French vanilla snob, so he won't drink it if it tastes like anything else. And I don't usually put anything else but French vanilla in it. I don't like the sound of those dogs over there. They sound big, the same as these dogs behind us. So, I have 3 likes now. Yay! And 2 people on watching. But I have no idea who you are. If you've commented before, or I can tell you have not commented after my husband did. At least, because I scroll up and look at it. So, I wonder what's happening with my crafty friends online. If there's any interesting things that they're doing for me to watch and learn. I know I need to watch some informational YouTube videos to learn how to do some other things for my YouTube channel. This is not a very big channel at all, and I started it years and years ago and never really made any videos. Used my channel to be able to, I think I put a couple videos up. Maybe I had 3 or 4 for years, and really just always watched all kinds of other crafters. And crafted along with them, or learned how to do something from them, about different craft products from them, from a wide variety of crafts. We've got, amongst a group of us, a wide variety of things that everybody's good at. And you can learn from each of them. Try to do some of the things that they do. See if you're any good at it for yourself. Oh, yep, you saw that squirrel. He almost made it. He almost made it across the backyard without you seeing him. I was rooting for him. Yeah, but today's Tuesday, and I'm trying to think who shares videos on Tuesday. Maybe some of my more political channels will be dropping videos or making live videos today. I can go and check that out because I have been on now for an hour and 40 minutes, and that is a lot of time. My husband's like, how do you sit out there and just talk for an hour or two, talking to yourself? Sometimes I'm talking to you guys. When I see you on the screen, I can talk to you. When I hold it, record vertically, the chat automatically shows up. But for some reason, it does not automatically show up on this horizontal. Either that horizontal orientation, either that, or I will have to figure out what is going on. Oh no, please tell me somebody didn't lose a pet. They're going along calling for a pet. So, you ready to go in the house, buddy? You ready to say goodbye to the YouTubers? Huh? You say goodbye to everybody? Huh? Here you go. No. Here, look. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Here, I'll just flip the camera around. Come here. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Stanley. Stanley, you trying to catch the bugs? Say goodbye. See you next time. See you next time. See you next time on the internet. Say goodbye. Say bye-bye. Goodbye to everyone. I don't know who all besides my husband was here, but I see the 4 likes, and there were 2 or 3 people on. And whoever watches this on the live stream, yeah, I hope it wasn't too much babbling on. Just wanted to come out here since it was nice enough and sit and relax and give you all an update on some of that crazy ass crying, blabbering life drama that I was giving you. And no, I am not going to refrain from talking about, that which is my story and my journey, and I will tell it when and what I feel like telling. I will do my best to speak of other people in the best light I can, using the best words I know how. I do have a pretty good vocabulary, so that shouldn't be too hard. But, I'm really kind of tired at 53 years old, 53 and a half, 54 almost, of not speaking my part or not being able to tell it exactly the way it is, dumbing it down, worrying about other people's feelings before my own all the time. And I know that's a good thing to do in general, but there are times where you do have to look out for yourself and your own health and your own mental health. And right now there's not as much of a stigma about mental health, and people are kind of being able to come. Oh, you just jumped back there again, didn't you? You little booger. Look at you. Look at you. Who do you think you are back there? Huh? I don't know why he likes to sit behind me so much. But yeah, I know for sure of other people on the platform talk about their mental health issues. There's a lot of music being written, even some more independent as well as mainstream music about mental health. So yeah, it's definitely been very destigmatized. Um, then again, perhaps also being almost to the point now where, you know, everyone claims anxiety, everyone claims panic attacks. Not everyone, like just a whole lot of people, that it may very well not be, I'm not saying they're lying, I'm just saying it might not be what they think it is. Because I don't want to say it's not that bad, because what's bad to one person might not be so bad to another person. Because again, we all have our own unique journeys. And you don't tell someone it's not that bad, you know, or that they should just pull themselves up by their bootstraps and, you know, whatever. Yes, it does take effort to help yourself. Nobody can do it for you, but a lot of people do need, you know, kindness and support, and sometimes even professional help along the way. And I'm going to admit to being one of those persons. And I think everyone else who is should also be able to admit that they are, without anyone looking down on them or judging them for it, or telling them that, you know, that you should be fine. You're taking medicine and you see a therapist. You should be, that should be all it is, and that's all it takes, and you should be walking around perfectly happy and fine now, as long as you keep seeing that therapist and taking that medicine. And that is not the case either. And in my case, it just keeps me better off than I would be otherwise. And I think that's probably the case for a lot of people, that they're just better off than they would be if they're able to get some mental health help. Some things cannot be cured, just like any other physical ailment of the body. There are some things that cannot be fixed, some things that medical science cannot cure. Like a lot of things my son has. I can't think of a single thing that he's got actually going on that will ever change, or it definitely will never go away. I shouldn't say change, because things can get a little bit better and things can get worse or way worse, but they will never go away. Yeah, so mental health is not any different. People struggle at different times in their lives. If you have never struggled with mental health issues, I'm glad. I'm really happy for you. But I'm sure you know plenty of people, whether you realize it or not, that have or do struggle currently. So I guess be kind. Just be kind, because you never know what someone else is going through. And for my friend out there on the other side of the world who has a cousin who has autism, and as is their custom in the country they live in, family members who have differences, disabilities of any kind, the families don't take them out in public. They kind of are not just embarrassed of them, but they would be thought badly of. Not just the person with the disability, but the family themselves would be thought badly of. And to my friend out there with his cousin with autism, that oops, that's my phone telling me it's 8 o'clock. Do whatever you can to be kind to her. Because if she doesn't get a lot of attention at all, a lot of other human interaction at all, or any kind of kindness in those interactions, every little bit will help. And I feel very sad that there are societies, and even here in America, in certain places, in certain situations, and it can just be random people too that that do not act appropriately or kindly towards a disabled person. And oh, little bitty bunny running over there, you missed him. And I think that's wrong. You know, we've even had a disabled president before, but he didn't let the world see him in his wheelchair. There are pictures of him now, after the fact, that have been out for years and years and years, but he did not ever appear in public in his wheelchair. He stood to give speeches, but he stood with extremely painful metal braces on both of his legs, firm steel metal braces to help him stand up, and he hung on to the podium while he gave a speech. And there was nothing wrong with him mentally. It was just that he couldn't stand. Hi, Candy. How are you doing, dear? I was about to get off here, and then I started babbling some more. I was wondering, too, what was going on in our crafty world today. Do you know who's making any videos? You're about as good as you can be. You know, I appreciate honest answers like that, and I appreciate that you can answer me like that. Because when I ask people how they are, I genuinely am asking how they are. And it takes guts, and it takes, you know, the decision to just be straight up more honest than just saying you're fine when you're not really fine. So I've stopped saying I'm fine or I'm okay. Oh, tell me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What happened? Did Burl hit through northern Florida? Did I not see that? Or did something else happen? Oh, you can only think of Beth. Oh, you mean as far as live streaming. Please tell me that's all you mean, is that tonight she'll be live streaming. Because otherwise I'm scared. Okay, yeah. Okay, just the live streaming. Not a tornado, not a hurricane. Okay, good. So, well, I don't know where you live, Candy, but I am in a suburb of Chicago. Not close enough to be concerned. Anyone else being worried about my safety. But I am in a suburb of Chicago, where I did read that over the 4th of July weekend, there were 17... Oh, you live in northern New Jersey. New Jersey is a very small state, but northern New Jersey. So many people we know on the East Coast, huh? Yeah, I did read that over the weekend, there were 17 people murdered in the city of Chicago over the 4th of July weekend. Normally we get a report every Monday morning of how many people were shot and how many people died, were murdered. because, yeah, Chicago is becoming a very difficult place. And it has been, what, I don't know, 40 plus years or something since the any one of the political parties had a convention here, one of their conventions, and it was a Democratic National Convention back when there were riots. And this year we are due for the Democratic National Convention again. Not that we need in Chicago apparently any reason for people to riot or for there to be murders. Way too many. Any one murder is too many, you know. But when you wake up on Monday morning and you hear the numbers, it's very, very upsetting. And this is our second mayor in a row that just really embraces policies that have not been tough enough on crime or turning crime around. So, but on that note, I am going inside now. It's been almost 2 hours that I've been out here chitty-chatting. I'm going to go inside and take my medicine and get on with the rest of my day. See what kind of crafty things I can get up to, what I didn't finish yesterday, and I might want to finish today. And then what else? Let's see what else I want to do while my husband is working in the other room. So I thank everyone for being on here, and anyone who watches this on the replay. I am going to leave the replay on. I will check the live chat to see what's there, because I couldn't see it in the beginning. And then if there's a live chat that is decent and not, you know, disgusting random trolls saying things, then I'll leave that live chat up too. And for any of my family members who watch this, I do not have any ill intent by making these videos. I do not have any hatred in my heart for any of you or any of our other family members. And as much as I say I didn't grow up for most of my childhood with my mother, I love my mother. And my mother did live with us, obviously, the last few years of her life. And if I didn't love my mother, I most definitely would not have taken her in and taken care of her. You can still love someone and you know, be aware of their flaws or acknowledge the things that they might have done or not done that it impacted your life. And that's okay, because we are all here. We are all human, having a human experience and emotions and getting along with each other, and mental health is all part of the human experience. So until I see you guys on my channel again, it is goodbye for now, but I will definitely be seeing you later. Bye.